Welcome back to another episode of the Natty Teacher. I am, of course, your host. Who else but the Natty Teacher? And today, we got our first push workout of the week. On a different day for me, though. Because, again, doing push-pull legs off, push-pull legs off, it kind of changes my schedule because each training week is a total of 8 days, including the 2 rest days. So it kind of, it's not the same every week. So it does rotate a little bit different. So for me, normally this workout would have been yesterday, and I'd be going to do pull right now. But because I had a rest day yesterday, I'm on my way to do push. So I'm excited. It's going to be a great session. Definitely good and fueled up. I'm very, it's a little thing, but when you get, and again, I don't want to say that I'm at this high level, but I've been doing it for a while. When you get to those later stages of bodybuilding where you're trying to kind of fine tune certain things outside of the gym as well as, of course, inside the gym. One thing I'm proud of myself lately is that I am really staying on top of my water consumption. Really trying to get 6 liters a day. So 6 liters would translate roughly to, I believe, just slightly above 1.5 gallons of water a day, which is perfect for me. That's perfect. So far I'm about 4 liters in already. So usually for now, I usually at this time of day I maybe would be close to 4 liters, but to be 4 liters or maybe even slightly above 4 liters in, I'm really happy with that. So that's awesome. 4 meals in. I will say I've kind of cleaned up my condiments a little bit, meaning I'm not having as many extra kind of condiments right now. So it's really just spicy brown mustard and mustard, and then sugar-free barbecue sauce are kind of what I have to choose from, and sugar-free ketchup as well, which I usually in the evening I'll mix a little bit of sugar-free ketchup and mustard together and dip my turkey burgers and potatoes in. It's really good, actually. It's like having a burger and fries, essentially. It's really good. But I'm trying to kind of get rid of some of the condiments that may cause GI issues or digestion issues or what have you. So I'm kind of just sticking to very limited condiments, and just want to try to see if I notice anything. Excuse me. From that. But with that being said, it makes my food a lot more boring, to say the least, and it makes it a little bit harder to eat. My last meal, I've been clocking in 20 to 30 minutes to eat. And that especially in the off season too. Meals ain't quick a lot of the time. So don't get me wrong. There are certain days where I'm just hungry. Ready to rock and roll. But then a lot of days in the off season, man. Not to say that I'm full, but I'm not ever. Sometimes I'm really hungry, but a lot of times I'm I could eat. You know what I mean? And then you got to kind of eat again. That is one aspect of the off season where that is okay to have that balance. Now, obviously, if you are approaching every single meal and it's my stomach hurts and I feel like garbage, it's okay, yeah, obviously that's something that you need to address and fix. You should always have at least a little bit of hunger there for sure. But I am at that point now where, especially with the not so glamorous condiments and things, my food is very boring right now, put it that way, and I love it. It's a blessing to be able to have that. It just takes a little bit longer to eat. So regardless, it's good stuff. So what do we got on the docket today for our push session? Well, pretty simple stuff. Excuse me. We'll get some good mobility work in, of course, band work, a little bit of cable work, get everything nice and primed up, ready to rock and roll. Okay. Excuse me. And then after that, we will jump into our first exercise, which is some machine side laterals. So load up those side delts and go from there. So we'll do some machine side laterals to get us started. We'll do 3 working sets there, all within that 8 to 12 rep range. Then we have pec deck, which I do with the D handles. So it kind of just changes the path a little bit, and I'm a big fan of that. It feels a lot more comfortable. It feels like I get a lot more of my chest compared to shoulders, like I was feeling in the past. So we will move on to that. And then after that is flat Smith press, 2 working sets there. And then some 2 working sets of converging incline machine press. Then we move on to a flat JM press, as long as the Smith machine is open. Okay, and then we'll end with some overhead extensions. And that is the session. With I do have a little bit more direct side delt work at the very end as well. I haven't picked what exercise I really want to stick with in this first push session, because it's either going to be cable work, or it's going to be like a seated dumbbell side lateral, and just kind of stick with that for both sessions at the end. It's going to be one of the two. I haven't really decided yet, but just 1 or 2 working sets there, keeping the reps a little bit more moderately high, so not super, super low, but we'll see. And we'll go from there. So that's the session layout. That's what we're looking at. Core and cardio was completed this morning, of course. And yeah, that's kind of about it, man. So I'm going to head to the gym, get in there, get warmed up, get ready to rock and roll. And top set of some machine side laterals will be coming at you right about now.
All right, so first up on the docket, per usual, we got some good old machine side laterals. Them side delts can never be big and capped enough, man. Come on now. So we got 3 working sets here. Again, guys, I will build up to a top set and hit that for as many reps as possible, and then, hit 2 more sets there. I usually, for this one, just kind of incorporate straight sets, so I won't do a whole lot of, like, myo rep match sets or anything. I've been thinking about potentially messing around with some myo rep match sets. I'm not sure. This one I go really heavy on. So it's one of those where, I don't know. I don't really want to push that too far to where I'm fatiguing myself out like crazy hard at the beginning. But at the same time, I do want to make sure that I am, getting the most out of my delt training for sure. So we'll see. Regardless, though, 3 working sets here. Felt good, felt strong, felt locked in. So this was definitely a great start to the session here. So really trying to always really trying to always control that weight on the way up and on the way down. We're not trying to push too hard out of the bottom to where we're like jerking the weight up. But at the same time, I'm not worried about, doing some 10-second raise or something like that. So we got 3 working sets there. Then got our pec deck, 2 working sets of this bad boy here. So again, I like to attach the D handles to that and do it that way, and go from there. So that's how I like to rock and roll with it. If that ain't you, hey man, that ain't you. This has just really helped me connect a lot more with the chest and take a little bit more out of the front delts. I try my best to keep my shoulders not, too rounded at the top, or at at the fully, shortened part of the movement right here where all those chest fibers are squeezed together. Like, I'm not trying to round my shoulders too much or too far forward. If it happens a little bit, I'm not going to freak out about it. But I really am trying to keep that head and chest lifted and pushed forward. So I'm really putting as much tension and emphasis on that squeeze in the chest as I can. And this felt really, really good. So again, 2 working sets here. I usually, again, will build up to a particular top set and then do a second straight set there. You can absolutely incorporate myo rep match sets here as well, depending on, level of fatigue you accumulate. Then we did some flat Smith press. Okay, we did 2 working sets here. This was a set of 10. So we got 2 plates, a 10, a 5, and a 2.5 on each side. So this was a couple weeks ago now. So we actually did go up to just 2 plates and 2 10s on each side. And we're able to hit that for a really clean 8. So that is now our, when we move into our next training block. I'm currently on a deload this week, and I can tell I need it for sure. My body is very much so pretty fatigued, from these past 5 weeks of heavy training. So once we come back from the deload, that 2 plates and 2 10s will be our top set until we hit that for 10, and we'll move up from there. But again, 2 working sets there. Then we have incline plate-loaded press. This is a converging plate-loaded press. So I'm a big fan of this one. Again, nothing super fancy here, guys. Get a nice full stretch on the way down and then push that weight up. Nothing super crazy. I like that this machine converges. You definitely got to play with this one to find a real, comfortable spot. But again, same concept here, guys. Build up to that top set, hit it for as many as you can, and then I'll keep that weight on there and hit it for as many as I can again. Yeah. So I think this week and also the week after this, I want to say I hit it for 9 this week and then 10 the week after, something like that. I don't know. So I'm going to wait to move up on this one until I consistently hit that for 10. Then we have a flat Smith JM press here. I believe we did 2 sets of 8 here. I could be mistaken. Maybe I did a set of 10. I'm not sure. But really trying to control that weight on the way down. Really trying to drive that weight up with the triceps. You're absolutely going to get a little bit of shoulder in here. I feel like people are like, it's a press still. So that you're absolutely going to feel it a little bit in your shoulders. Just try not to feel it primarily in your shoulders. Excuse me. That's my only piece of advice there. So this felt good, felt smooth. Again, 2 working sets here, both with this particular top weight. And this was kind of our transition from chest to triceps, and really, good solid tricep builder for sure, this JM press is. So I'm a big fan. There's a variety of ways to do it, and all of them have their pros and cons for sure. So you just got to kind of find one that's comfortable for you. And then one of my favorite tricep movements, arguably of all time, at least like cable tricep movements, is just this straight up overhead tricep extension. I'm using a V-bar. You can use a straight bar. It's totally up to you how you want to work it. But again, I'm just using this V-bar here. It is phenomenal. Get that nice deep stretch. Allow those hands and that bar to sink in behind your head as far as you can comfortably go with still keeping tension on the triceps, and just extend up, man. Nothing super crazy. It's very simple. So really focus on controlling that weight and go from there. So 3 working sets here. Again, I'll do a top set, build up to a top set, stay at that weight for 3 working sets. You can absolutely incorporate those myo rep match sets, rest pause sets, anything like that here to intensify it a little bit if you'd like. But I usually just kind of stick to the straight sets principle. So anyways, yeah, man, that is the last exercise I had here. Maybe did toe press. I'm not sure. It was a couple weeks ago, but
All right.
See you in the outro.
Push A in the freaking books. That was another great session, man. I'll tell you what, I'm getting to that point now where on certain exercises in particular, especially like that, like machine side lateral, things like that, man, I mean, I'm getting stronger, but wow. There does come a certain point where getting stronger becomes more challenging. if that makes any sense. Yeah, that was a phenomenal session, but woo! That was a good one. I will say the only thing I did not do, just purely because there was 3 people on the machine, so I'm like, yeah, I'm not going to try to work in with you here. I ain't going to try to interrupt that going on. So I did not do toe press. So I still will train calves 3 times in this 8-week span. I'm just going to have to maneuver it around a little bit. Meaning the plan is to train calves instead of today and then Tuesday and then have a big break and then or today, Wednesday, and then like Sunday. Now it's going to be Wednesday, Friday, and then Sunday. That is the plan. So Wednesday, Friday, Sunday will be calf training. Yes, Wednesday. Yes. So every other day there for the last half of the week will be calves. Because I could have done some seated calves and all that. Absolutely could have. But to be honest with you, just based on the load that I have to use for that, for like the rep range that I'm trying to use, it's one of the, it's one of the reasons that I've switched to the toe press, is because I really try to keep that between that like 8 to 15 rep range, really load the calves up. It's just kind of a pain in the butt. Again, it's at the tail end of the workout. I'm making every excuse in the book right now. I probably should have just done seated calves. But because I didn't do it today, it means I got to take accountability and make sure we still hit that 3 times in that 8-day span. So if that happens to you, you got a machine that's crowded, you just can't hit it or something like that, and there's really not a ton of alternatives or what have you, or you got to get going or whatever, usually I would say just find an alternative, or make sure you still hit it the allotted times that you need to hit it. Simple as that. So anyways, other than that, yeah, man, that's about it, man. That was a great session. That was a great session. Added 5 pounds to my flat press and still rep matched, so that was good. So did 10 with, you got to remember this is my 3rd exercise in, so I'm obviously not going for like strength, like all out strength here, but I hit 10 with 2 plates, a 10, a 5, and a 2.5 on each side. Hit a nice 10 with that on the Smith machine with a good pause at the bottom too. Nice soft pause. I'd say in between, kind of like a shard pause, kind of in between a soft and a hard pause. Yeah, nice pause at the bottom. So I was happy with that. Pushing strength felt pretty dang good today for sure. So I was definitely super happy about that. And yeah, man. Great session. Added some reps to machine side laterals. Added some weight to pec deck, rep matched. Added some weight to my flat press, rep matched both sets. Incline plate loaded was same thing. Actually, it's exactly the same as last week, which is okay, because I feel like my form was, even a little bit smoother this week. So rep matched both working sets from last week, so that's perfect. JM press, added a rep to my top set there. And then for overhead extensions, that one, I don't know if maybe I just got into a good groove today or what, but I did 2 reps to my top set and then 2 reps to both back off sets. Exactly the same setup as last week. So I was very happy with that. Felt really smooth. If anything, and they felt cleaner too. Like they felt cleaner, more controlled, a little bit of a better range of motion. Like everything just felt really, really good with that, with those overhead extensions to end my session. So I was really happy with that. But yeah, dude, 10 out of 10, 12 out of 10, 20 out of 10 session. Awesome stuff. I'm gonna head home, get my post-workout meal going, and go from there. So post-workout is probably one of my favorite meals of the day, to be honest. It is 155 grams of top round beef, 300 grams of basmati rice, 100 grams of green beans, and 100 grams of pineapple. It is a very, very well-rounded macro and micronutrient dense meal, getting a good amount of protein, getting a heck of a lot of carbs, and getting all those good micronutrients from the fruits and vegetables as well. So definitely dig that one for sure. So yeah, it's just a good one. I'm pretty good at, I broil my steak too, especially like obviously in the winter, but I don't have like a nice grill, so I just broil my stuff. And I've kind of mastered the art of broiling, good piece of steak. So anyways, yeah, man. So I'm gonna head home, get that in, just kind of chill out a bit. I usually like to kind of chill for a little bit, depending on how I'm feeling, at least for a few minutes, and then kind of just get into prepping for tomorrow. Got a little bit of food I gotta make. Not a lot actually tonight, now that I think about it. I think I have to make turkey burgers and then breakfast. I think that's it. That's nice. Yeah, it kind of lines every once in a while. A couple days per week, I have days where I don't have to cook a ton of food, so that's kind of nice. Today just happens to be one of those days. So, anywho's, yeah, man. So, great stuff. Again, great session. Definitely got to use this video as a reminder for myself to make sure that I move calves to where we're still hitting them 3 times per week. And tomorrow, so a couple days from now for you guys, we'll have our pull A session. Very excited for that one. Definitely progress to be made there. I'm at that point right now, guys, where it's like I'm confident in the fact that I know every time I go into the gym right now at this stage in my off season, like I'm going to at least do what I did the week before, no doubt. Not going to lose reps, not going to lose consistency, I'm not going to lose strength. Like I am very confident with that. I'm getting to the point where I'm just making very incremental jumps on exercises. You know what I mean? Like it's 5 pounds here, maybe a rep or 2 there, you know what I mean, with stuff. It is very, very minimal incremental jumps, but that's what it's all about. Again, I think people try to jump way too quick in their logbook, and I did that in this off season too, and I just kind of lost form, I lost feel, I lost the connection with some of my muscle groups because I was just trying to chase that logbook a little bit. And every once in a while it's good to hit the refresh button, kind of reset that. So just a little tip there for you if you feel like you're kind of going around in circles and plateauing or whatever. It's like, how's your technique? How are things really looking? So how are you able to connect with the target musculature, those muscles you're trying to hit? So just an idea. Anyways, other than that, man, yeah, go home and eat. That's what I got. So make sure if you have not already, you hit that subscribe button, subscribe to the channel, guys. Hey, I appreciate it. Really means a lot to me. It means a lot to the channel and our continued growth. Like and share this video if you want. That'd be awesome. And drop any comments, questions, or feedback you got down below. I will be sure to see it and give the best response I possibly can, and as timely of a manner as I possibly can as well. So other than that, man, hey, first and foremost, God bless. Second of all, definitely not as important, I am the Natty teacher, and for myself and from the entire Natty family, this episode of Road to Natty Pro is out. Catch you guys on the next one.